And we are here with Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Now, one of the things about this series in general is I've always been excited to try it. I wasn't excited is the word for it, but I have always wanted to see what it was like because I know a lot of the Yakuza series was based on some of the foundation from Shinmu way back in the Dreamcast days. And I particularly was interested in that because I always enjoyed Shinmu. Now, it's one of those games I never really finished, but I enjoyed what it did back then. And it's one of the things that just really solidified me into the immersiveness of gaming. And the Yakuza series in general is one that I've been interested in because of that groundwork. Now, one of the things with this game is that dropping on Game Pass just gives me a really good way of checking this game out. So we're in Tokyo 2019. This is really beautiful. Actually, is this full motion video or is this CG? I can't really tell. It looks almost like FMV. Yeah, I think it's FMV for this. So, okay. Now we're with cutscene video. If it's really cutscene, looks like in-game engine. So we're coming out of a nightclub. Typical young girl, young, attractive, well-to-do. Obviously, of course, you know what's going to happen. Thugs. Let's see how this plays out. Of course, thugs. Why am I getting Romeo Must Die vibes from this? For some reason. This whole scene, while it's not one-to-one, I just get a lot of Romeo Must Die with the woman coming out. You know, obviously, if you've seen that movie, it's not quite the same, but I'm getting, it's definitely going to be a fight. He's definitely her protector. Waiting for the car to come, of course. And of course, the car is taking longer than need to, which is going to allow the miscreants to, you know, try to start something. And I have a feeling he's going to whip all the asses. Now, is she drunk? Or did somebody slip her something? I feel like somebody put something in her drink. So I'm wondering where that's going to lead to, if anywhere. Of course, the one dude who thinks he's all that. Oh, he is. Oh, they cornered him. Let's see what happens now. We know what's going to happen. In a John Wick style action. Well, maybe not quite John Wick, but all right. Told him to move. This is a very long setup. That's what I missed. Just stand over here. Sit down. Get yourself together. I gotta take out the trash. And this dummy is trying to figure out who she is. Alright, here we go. Uh-oh, we took off the glasses. You know what that means. Now, one of the things I heard about this game, there have been some lambasting of the English dub, and I didn't even think about that, I just opted for the Japanese experience with subtitles. I wanted a more authentic experience playing this game, so I opted for that. Now, cutscene, and now we fast forward into the tutorial. Now, please explain to me why there are load screens on these games. You know, it's not like when we had disc because it's a digital download. So yes, they're called thugs. So one of the things the move set was pretty easy to master or to learn based on the list there. And then one of the things on my TV, for some reason, I think I have to readjust it. Uh, Part of the move set it was cut off. So I think it's something with the screen calibration on my television when I was playing. So I actually had to stop at one point, pause it, and then look it up online to see what the rest of the moves were because I just couldn't see them on based on my TV. Now the spider move is pretty cool too. I wanted to know, or I'm looking forward to finding out more about why you had that move. It seems somewhat of an odd move to have in this sort of game, in my opinion. It seems like it's more based in realism. So to have that sort of grappling hook move, especially starting out, it's not something that you obtain later on in the game. It was weird, but maybe obviously it's going to have purpose to the story as we go along. But we shall see. Now, one of the things I like with this again, going back to that Shenmue comparison, Shenmue, very much the fighting style was much akin to Virtua Fighter. Yu Suzuki, master creator Virtua Fighter, created Shenmue, and this is a lot more fluid, even more so than what I experienced playing. I think last Virtua Fighter I played was Virtua Fighter 5. Virtua Fighter is stiff to a degree, but not like stiff, rigid where you can't fight. It has a certain style, a realistic style when it comes to it. So this is very frenetic, chaotic. I like how it's very easy to go from one adversary to the next. Blocking and all those things were very, very easy to accomplish. It'll be very interesting once I get further into the game to see how these mechanics, if it's easy to really pull off in a real life or death fight, or also if these skills advance as we go along, which I'm assuming they do. But I'm really looking forward to seeing more and more of the story. All right, see here they are. I also like I know this is the intro tutorial level, but I like it how they don't all just crowd around you, which, logically speaking or logistically speaking, that's something that probably should happen in a fight where everybody just goes and beats your ass instead of trying to take you on one by one, at least 2-on-1. My man does have Fist of Fury though. He's just going. His stealthiness, bobbing and weaving. I can see more of the bobbing and weaving a little bit later once I figure out how to block and dodge, or more or less dodge. That was the one skill for whatever reason I couldn't see on my screen. I had to look up exactly what to do and how to do it. As you see, the dodging as well as the other functionality using the right button were very much elusive to me at this point because regardless of what this playback says, I can see on my TV. This intro level was just really fun just to kind of beat up on everybody. I just wanted them to die though. I saw how they had health meters. It kind of went down a little bit. For some reason, I never paid attention to my health meter up at the top. That's something I really should have, but I didn't pay any attention to it as I was fighting to see what was going on. Like, I got my ass kicked here, and then you get resurrected and come back up. And this man just hit me while I was not even all the way up yet. He has no sort of honor whatsoever. Boom, 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 boom. Eat my fist. Yeah, this was enjoyable. The holding, the grappling, especially once I get a bit more in tune with that mechanic, which we will see very, very shortly. It's one that I actually enjoyed. It very much reminds me of a wrestling mechanic. I'm obviously holding, grappling, and flipping people over. How can you not think about wrestling? In my opinion, but it's one that I thought was very satisfying. and I'm really looking forward to playing more of this game going forward to see how well or how deep the fighting system actually is. Because just starting off, it's fun. It is relatively simple to get into. Now, this is after I figured out what the moveset was, so you'll see some of the dodging and holding and throwing. And also, at this point, I'm dodging or I'm blocking, trying to figure out like what's going on, what's wrong. And I realize, oh, I don't know my left from the right, so I'm literally sitting here holding the left button instead of the right button, trying to dodge. And when I realize, I'm like, hey, you need to know your left from your right. It's your right, not your left. I finally figure out how to dodge and move at the same time, and you'll see that coming up very shortly here. See, here we go. Dodging and weaving, dodging and weaving. Boop, boop. Dodge, weave, boop, boop. Here we go, another one. Up, sidestep you. Up, here we go, another one. Try again, try again. Up, sidestep you. All right. Here we go. As you see, tell them how to use a spider, which I've already been using, as you've seen. That's actually a pretty cool mechanic. I really want to know if that gets any better going forward in the actual game. I am really looking forward to playing more and more of this game, especially as we get into the story. I also wonder, because some of the combatants, they were on fire, a la NBA Jam back in the day as we were fighting. So I wonder what sort of indication that gives about their either health status, like this guy, he's on fire, health status, or maybe their combat status. Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I really couldn't tell, but that dude was on fire and he went down pretty easily. So maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe it's a matter of being overheated and exhaustion. And of course, Hayuken. Yep, that's his car. You wanted to pick a fight. You wanted to try to harass this young woman. And I think is, if he is as well to do as I think he is, that shouldn't be nothing to get that fixed. See? Try to throw his weight around. You know who you messing with. You are able to skip this, but I wanted to see more of the story in this regard. I think a lot of this, and as we go forward, a lot of this is set up for what's to come, and I didn't want to miss out on this story to really understand what was going on in this world. And of course, you find out that she is the daughter of somebody who's even higher than the person his views are related to. I do like how she came at it with class. She could have came at it like a real, you know what, regardless of the situation. She would have every right to have been a pompous ass with regards to how she interacts with him after this whole ordeal. But the fact that he's now bowing and sniveling once he realizes who she is this to everybody. Sometimes it's best just to mind your own business and leave people alone, because you never know who people are. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't tell. Please. It's like a kid, man. Yep. Didn't see a thing. I won't say anything. Don't say anything to Granddad. Please, please. Yeah, basically. Now he's slinking away. Where is this car? They said 3 minutes. Yeah, I really think somebody drugged her. Somebody slipped up in her drink. Had to. Because this ain't just alcohol poisoning. Because she don't seem like she was drunk. Like she had one too many. She wasn't stumbling when she came out of the club either. So I definitely think somebody put something in her drink. I want to see what happens with that, because I feel as though that may be a major plot point to this whole thing, but I'm not sure. All right, back to FMV. I do like how they do full motion video, then go back to the actual in-game footage. I will say, and I'm playing on the Xbox One, the game looks spectacular. I can only imagine what it looks like running on current gen systems, the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X specifically. So I just wonder how this is going to uh, it really looks upscaled on those systems because this is a beautiful game. This is a game that is very realistic looking. I'm looking at the bars here, and even young lady. The I can only imagine the amount of motion capture that went into this because it looks very fluid and lifelike with their movements. First Summer Eureka. That's an interesting name. Almost sounds Native American. First Summer. So I'm assuming this is the aftermath of what happens after he takes her home. But I want to know what happened to her. Like, was she drugged? Is she sick? How much does this play into whatever? But he seems like a loner who just sits there and smokes by himself, though, which is kind of sad. But I feel like there's a reason for that. I mean, it is called The Man Who Has Erased His Name. So I'm assuming that he is living a life or a different life, an isolated life, because they think he's dead, or he wants people to think he's dead, or he doesn't exist, sort of thing. Maybe not dead so much. You know, it's weird. I haven't seen an ashtray in God knows how long. So who is this chick? Why is she telling me to eat veggies? My man definitely has a two-pack a day habit with the way he's smoking. Actually, is this in the past? No, no, it's not the past. This is the present. All right, no, this is in the past. This is what happened before. So this is how or why he had to erase his name. Again, these loading screens, even without a HHD, I don't understand why we still have loading screens like this on hardware on a game that is downloaded to your system. It's not like it's coming from a disk. It's on your system. I forget what that game is called. He's meditating. Oh, so now he's remembering in the past. No mercy. No mercy. Mercy's for the weak. How do you miss that? Like she's literally not moving, and you shot what 2, 3 times, and each one is missed. Like really? Like you are a horrible shot. And even then, you shot the dude. But what is that? The liver? That shouldn't even be a fatal blow. What kind of? You are a horrible marksman. Well, maybe blood loss, all that good stuff. Okay, in the hospital, so he didn't die. Sorry, Sensei passed away. So I'm assuming that's the person that was over the dojo he was at earlier. Okay, so whatever he's involved in, it's oh, they offer him money. Politician. It's a deep political conspiracy here, I'm assuming. Alright, giving him money to keep quiet and we'll fake your death. Okay. Now he's making conditions on them. That's how you got some balls, some big balls. Like value. He's like, you don't know who I am. Like you would not walk out of this room alive. Look at that stare. Yeah, for real, he's like, did you do your research? You know what happens when people hurt my family, try to hurt my family. That death stare is like, I will kill you before you walk out of this room if you don't give me what I want. Yeah, I'll die for you. All right. Okay. This is why he erases his name. This whole incident right here. All right, so we get this backstory. He's dead and gone, and that's the end of the intro. Now we're going into chapter 1, and that's it. We are done.